And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Niwega versus Downer. Step forward, please.
Tanya Niwega is suing air conditioning technician Chad Downer for trespassing on her property and disabling her air conditioner.
All right, interesting case. Ms. Niwega, according to what I read in your complaint, you live in a home with your children. It was very, very hot, and your air conditioner broke. You called the defendant. He came out. He fixed your air conditioner, and you gave him a bad check. Check bounce that you gave him. According to the defendant, he tried to resolve the issue over a period of time, got no satisfaction. He came to your residence. He took back the part that he had put in to fix your air conditioner, and now you had no air conditioning again. You're suing him because you say that he had absolutely no right to come out and vandalize your air conditioner and for trespassing on your property. So far, am I about right?
Something to that effect.
Oh, that's exactly what happened. Mr. Downer says that you gave him a bad check. He tried to resolve it over a period of time. He got very frustrated. And he did go to your house.
Yes.
And he did remove the part that he had put in to originally fix your air conditioner. He's counterclaiming because he says he made 2 visits to your house and he hasn't been paid for anything. Right?
If he made 2 visits to my house, he didn't talk to me. I was not there.
Just a second.
Okay.
On what date, Ms. Niwega, did you call him?
Probably someday in June.
No, I need the date.
I don't know the date.
Well, you have the bill.
Well, this is the day he came out, and I'm sure this is not the date that I called him. So he came out on
what
June
date
21st.
On what date did he come out?
June 21st.
Do you know, Mr. Downer, when she called you?
It was probably the day before or else that day. I'm pretty prompt when I get a call.
And how hot was it in June?
It was hot.
So you were inconvenienced because you had no air conditioning. How many children do you have?
2.
So he came out and fixed the air conditioner, and you gave him a check. For how much?
$189.
You deposited the check?
Yes.
Came back insufficient funds?
Yes.
And when did it come back to you, Mr. Downer?
Approximately a week later.
So say the 28th of June.
Yes.
Okay. What efforts did you try to make to get your money?
I called several times, and each time I called, she apologized and said she was sending a certified check. The check was in the mail.
How many times did you call? Do you have any
It was like
indication?
three times.
Over what period of time?
I gave her each time approximately 1 week for the check to show up, and we don't live that far away. It would take probably 2 days for the check to show up. The check never came.
You called her immediately when the check bounced,
Oh,
though.
definitely.
Did you volunteer to come over and get the cash from her?
I don't believe so. She just said she was sending a check.
On what date did you decide to take matters into your own hands?
It was the Monday before I actually went over there. I called and said, you need to call me. I'm going to come over and take the part off this week if you don't call me. She never contacted me until the night before and said...
Night before you were scheduled to go, you told her you were going
right,
out.
Yeah, and she had left a voicemail message. I didn't get it because it was long hours at that time, and said that it's okay to come over and take the part back.
You have that voice message?
I don't. It got bumped off. I have a letter from her saying it's okay to come over and take the part.
I'd like to see the letter.
I underlined it right here.
Thank you. Do you have any idea the date that you went out there, sir?
I believe it was about 1 month later. It was a Friday. I think it was almost exactly 1 month later.
You know when he came out to remove the part?
The 21st.
No, that's when he came to put in the part.
Yeah,
when
the
did
next
he
month.
come?
No,
The
the
7/21.
7/21 he came out.
7/21. Well, why between June 21st and July 21st didn't you get him his money?
His whole little story is all misconstrued.
I know.
Back and
I
forth.
don't listen to
Back
me.
and forth. We were calling on the phone.
I'm not interested in back and forth, Ms. Niwega. I'm interested in why, for 1 month, you called him. He responded to your home within 24 hours. He fixed your air conditioner. You had no trouble with the air conditioner that he fixed. He charged you a nominal amount of money to come out. And my question to you is, why didn't you make good on the check for 1 month?
I had a new baby. That was an oversight on my part. I did go get him a money order to make good on the check.
But you didn't give it to him.
He didn't want it.
Don't tell me he didn't want it. You mean he didn't want to get paid?
No, he didn't, because I have the money order right here that
I
I
don't
got
care
for
about
him.
the money order that
And
you
he
have.
told me, no, this is what he told me. He said, 1, he said he never came to my house. 2, when he did come over there, he fixed the air conditioner. Then he called me. No, he didn't call me. The lady called me about his check.
Shh, just a second. It says, by the way, the letter does not give you permission to come on her property. That's your interpretation. It says, she said to you, I sent you a message back requesting you to contact me before making access to my property. But the beginning of the letter says This letter is to inform you that no one from your company is allowed to come on my property.
That was after that I'd already been there.
Right,
Right,
I got it.
when he said he
I
never
got
was
it.
there.
I got it. But she never gave you permission to come
She
on the
actually
property.
did in the voicemail.
Just a second. Well, that's hearsay, madam. If you had saved it and I could have authenticated it, that might have been another story. But other than that, it's hearsay. Ms. Noriega, I'm not going to spend any more time on this case. You're entitled to nothing. Giving you nothing because, quite frankly, he's not allowed to trespass on your property to remove something that he had put in. What he's supposed to do is use the court system to do that. He's supposed to sue you for the bad check. I can certainly understand his frustration when you blew him off for a whole month. For that, you don't get rewarded. You don't get rewarded giving somebody a bad check for work that they performed, for coming out to your home, and for then telling me that you had a baby and that you had a whole bunch of bills.
Well, I got a money order.
Don't listen to me, Ms. Noriega. You're speaking when I am.
Okay.
That's the reason you gave him a bad check, because you didn't have any money, and you may not have had money for a month.
No, it was an oversight on my part. It was an oversight on my part, and I do accept that. But when I got him a money order for the amount of the check plus $25 for his bounce check fee, I covered my debt to him.
Just a second. You never got it to him.
He didn't want it.
Just
he came over there, wanted to be some mafia thug and jump all on my roof and take my air conditioner off.
Ms. Noriega, let me tell you something. Stop making excuses. You did the wrong thing. You
He
gave him a
did the
bad
wrong
check.
thing.
And so did he. And he's not going to get paid because he did the wrong thing. You're not allowed on her property. And I don't believe that she said to you, come on, take out whatever part you like and come on my property, because that's not the way she's doing business. So she started out with an air conditioner that doesn't work. She still has an air conditioner that doesn't work.
Somebody fixed
and if
it. It works.
And if she had it fixed again, I hope she gave the person who fixed it a good check.
And I gave him
Your
cash.
case is, gave him
Thank you.
cash? Good. Everybody should get cash from you, Ms. Noriega. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Not hire shade tree people, got their front window broken
She didn't pay for the service. I went over there, performed a good service.
because they must do this to lots of people.
It was very inexpensive, to get the machine running again.
And it's over with. He's a Riri.
And, she didn't pay for it.
8-year-old Tricia Fennell is suing the father of her children, Chad Young, for personal belongings and for refusing to sign over a truck.
All rise. Miss. Yeah, this is case number 520 on the calendar in the matter of Fennell versus Young.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in, Your Honor. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat, huh?
Ms. Fennell, you and Mr. Young had a relationship and you have 2 children.
Yes, Your Honor.
According to your complaint, the 2 of you separated sometime in 2004.
Yes, Your Honor.
At that time, there were 2 vehicles in your household.
Yes, ma'am.
You kept one, and according to you, continued to make the payments on it, made
Yes,
all the
ma'am.
payments on it. And Mr. Young kept one. It is your claim that Mr. Young took your vehicle without your permission 2 years later.
Yes, ma'am.
And in the vehicle was some personal property of yours.
Yes.
You managed to get the vehicle back with the help of the authorities. The property was missing. You want the value of the property, or the property. Mr. Young says that when you separated in 2004, he allowed you to borrow his truck because you needed a vehicle. He expected you to return it to him at some point when you were able to afford to get your own vehicle. You didn't do that, but instead, according to Mr. Young, sometime in 2005, you left your home, or the jurisdiction where you were living, without notifying him in advance, and took the children and the truck to a different state. He was able to locate you, he retrieved his truck, and he is counterclaiming because he says that when you took the truck back, you did so against his wishes, that the truck actually belongs to him and he wants it back.
Correct.
Okay. When in 2004 did you separate, Ms. Fennell?
January, Your Honor.
And it was an amicable separation?
No, ma'am.
Did you leave him or did he leave you?
I left him, Your Honor.
And where were you living at the time, in what state?
Missouri.
And you maintained a home together with the defendant in Missouri?
Yes, Your Honor.
For how long?
2 years, approximately.
How old were you?
3 years.
We actually purchased a house back in 2001.
Just a second. You purchased a house together in 2001?
No, ma'am.
I purchased a house in my name solely, and in 2001.
And you lived there with him?
Yes, ma'am.
So you lived there with him for 3 years?
Yes.
Now, you left him, and when you left him, you took one of the trucks. Now, in whose name was the truck that you took?
Both of ours.
Is that correct?
Yes.
And you left him a truck when you left?
No, I loaned her the truck. Okay.
You
I
had what?
I had the car.
You had the car. What kind of car did you have?
It was a 95 Ford Aspire.
Now, when you left in 2004, you remained in Missouri until when?
February of 2005, Your Honor.
And where did you go in February of 2005?
Kansas.
Who lives in Kansas?
My fiance.
Between January of 2004 and February of 2005, Mr. Young, did you see your children?
Yes, I did. I seen them all the way up until April.
April of?
2004 or
2005.
2005.
Well, if she moved in February of 2005, where did you see them in April? In Kansas?
Actually, she met me 3 times, I do believe, with my kids when I'd get off work. And I'd actually pick them up and take them to my place after that.
So you did see them in April of 2005 after she moved to Kansas?
Actually, yes, I did.
Just answer the question.
Yes, I did.
I'm trying to get a timeline from you, sir. I read your answer. I'm trying to figure out what happened. So, when she moved, you continued to see the children?
Yes. Yes, Your Honor.
So you knew she was moving? Answer. Don't think about what you wrote.
No.
Don't think about how it's going to look. Just answer, Mr. Young, the questions, because if you give me a dishonest answer, I guarantee you it's going to be a very sorry afternoon for you. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand that.
So, if you saw the children up until April of 2005, then you knew she was moving.
Actually, I did not.
I don't want you to speak until I ask you a question.
Okay.
Do you understand?
I understand, Your Honor.
Perfect. Go ahead.
I actually did not know that she moved because, like I said, she would meet me right around the surroundings of where I worked.
You mean between January of 2004 when she left, when you separated, and April of 2000, listen to my question,
Okay.
Don't get the wheels moving. Between January of 2004 when she left and April of 2005, the routine was you would meet at some central location and exchange the children.
Correct.
So you didn't know that she moved to Kansas because she brought the children to the same location all the time?
Correct.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Don't say yes unless it's true.
Yes.
When did you find out that she moved to Kansas?
In the end of April.
How did you find out?
I would call her cell phone to get my kids, and she answered one day and said that I wasn't going to see the kids no more.
Really?
Really.
Why did you say that, Miss Fennell?
I didn't, Your Honor.
What did you say? If he was seeing the children from January of 2004 until April of 2005, and I believe him, something happened in April of 2005.
Yes, ma'am.
Why don't you tell me what it was?
He was seeing the children sporadically, once every 2 or 3 months, and I actually called him in
Your Honor.
April.
No, don't speak now.
And, at Easter, before Easter, and asked him if he would like to see the children. At that time, he told me no. My fiance and I went and bought the children Easter baskets, and when Mr. Young called me the day before Easter and told me that, yes, he did want to have the kids, and I said, okay, that's fine. And he did. And then, as usual, I called him the next weekend, and the next weekend, and the next weekend, and asked him if he would be using his visitation, and he would tell me, no, he was working, and he didn't
Don't
have
put your
time.
hand up.
Then in June, on Father's Day, I called Mr. Young once again and asked him if he would like to have his children on Father's Day. And he made the comment to me, well, it's Father's Day, isn't that my day off? And I said, look.
So are you telling me between April, Easter, when he had the children for the day,
Yes, ma'am.
and Father's Day,
No contact, Your Honor.
he did not call
No, ma'am.
the children?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Young,
Yes.
did you call your children between April, Easter, when you had the children? Because I believe her that she gave you the children on Easter and Father's Day. Did you contact your children?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Tell me how.
I tried to contact her through a cell phone.
What do you mean you tried?
I would call her, and she either wouldn't answer my call, and eventually she'd shut her phone off completely.
I'm talking about between April and June.
No, I never did get to see my kids in that time because she was holding them from me.
Did you go to court, sir, between April and June, like May 1st, for visitation?
We actually had a court order on visitations of the kids March 1st of 04 until March 1st of 05. It was just a one-year visitation deal.
I never heard of a one-year visitation deal.
It only lasted 1 year because it was the result of an abuse stalking order that I had against Mr. Young.
I see. So there was an order of visitation that was made part of a protective order.
Yes, ma'am.
But there was no formal order of visitation other than that which was contained
That's
in the
correct.
protective order, which expired in March.
That's correct, Your Honor.
So I'm coming back to you, Mr. Young. When you didn't see your children in May, and according to you, you couldn't reach their mother, did you go to court to seek visitation with your children?
No, I could not.
Why not?
because I couldn't afford an attorney.
You don't need an attorney to go to court, Mr. Young. You go to your local family court and you tell the clerk, I want to file an order of visitation for my children. Question is, did you go to court? The
No.
answer is no.
No.
If the father is interested in seeing their children regularly, they go to court. That's what they do.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Put your hand down, Miss Fiancée. You have nothing to say.
And his wife, Your Honor.
Put your hand down, Miss Wife. You have nothing to say.
Tricia Fennell claims the father of her children, Chad Young, refuses to sign over a Dodge Ram truck. Chad is countersuing for the return of the truck.
Is this your fiancée wife?
Yes, it is.
What is it?
It's my wife.
Your wife?
Mm-hmm.
When were you married?
July 29th of this year.
Did you buy her an engagement ring?
What's that?
Did you buy her an engagement ring?
Yes, I did.
How much you spent for it?
Like $300?
Have you been to court since, sir,
No.
to file for visitation with your children?
No.
Well, before I'd buy an engagement ring, Mr. Young, if you need the advice of a lawyer, I would spend $300 an hour for a lawyer and get some advice to file for visitation for my children. Mr.
See,
Young.
I have
Mr. Young, that's what I would do.
Everybody I've talked to has told me that I had to hire an attorney to have anything else done.
Who told you that? The butcher?
Child support?
No, let me ask you. The butcher?
No.
Courts cannot, sir, require you to have an attorney in order to see your children. It might be easier for you, but it would certainly be worth an hour of a lawyer's time.
Oh, I totally agree with you.
Good, so I would have saved the $300 on an engagement ring and gone to see a lawyer if I didn't see my children. So my sympathy for you was getting to be this much, where it was this much when I read your answer. You understand me?
Yes.
When I read your answer, it appeared as if she removed the children. You didn't see the children after that, but that's not true. You did see the children. She moved in February. You saw the children in February and March and April. She continued to bring them to a location so that you could see them, take them for visitation, until your life got a little busy. How much child support have you paid for your children in the last 2 years? Is not an answer.
I have not paid in the last year for some
In the
reason.
last
I don't know.
year?
Usually it comes out of my check, and they quit taking it out of my check.
Well, just a second.
changed
What? Shut
jobs.
up! What'd you think the children were eating from the last year?
What do you mean?
I don't know. So my sympathy for you is that much. Now, at some point, sir, you took this truck back that was in joint names.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because she posted a deal on the internet saying that had a chance to forge my signature on the title.
You didn't need the truck. You'd been without it for well over a year. It was in joint names. You had a car, she had a truck. You'd lived together for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's the big deal?
Because I've paid almost everything on that truck.
Well, show me. Show me that you've paid almost everything on the truck. Let me see. And at the same time, Ms. Fennell, I'd like you to show me that you paid whatever you paid on the truck.
Your Honor, this is a statement from the bank saying that the loan was in solely my name. These are the payments that I made. This is my payoff date there at the bottom. This is saying that I paid the taxes on the vehicle.
I don't care taxes. Don't tell me taxes. Not interested in taxes.
I have a receipt from the bank here for my final payment.
Well, just a second. How did you pay them?
$2,400. I went to the bank and asked them if I could get that proof, and they said because it had been so long that they could do that, but they would have to charge me $30 per hour for their manpower in it. And this is also the payment book, Your Honor, that I have to take to the bank and get initialed every payment that was made.
Just a second. Take this back, because I have absolutely no interest in this piece of whatever it is, because it's not evidence. It's nonsense.
You got anything?
The only thing that I have is I ain't got no proof of how the truck got paid.
You don't have any proof.
No, all I got is...
Look at me. You don't have any proof.
I mean, besides my pay, how much I was making back then.
I don't care what you were making back then.
Because I asked the bank the same thing also, and that's what they told me.
Okay. Mr. Young, now I have a document that indicates that these payments were made starting in January of 04 through February of 05. Now, I would like you to show me proof that you made payments, sir.
Like I said, I couldn't get the documents from my bank because they couldn't go back that far. Because I tried getting a printout of like my whole checking account back then, and they don't have that on.
This looks as if after she took the truck, she made the payments.
Right. That was.
Listen to me. After she took the truck, she made the payments. Put your hand down, Miss Fiancée. You have nothing to say.
And his wife, Your Honor.
Put your hand down, Miss Wife. You have nothing to say.
I also have evidence that Mr. Young signed his name off of the title of my truck and a notarized gift affidavit from Mr. Young that he did at the bank, Your Honor.
Let me see the notarized. I just want to see the notarized document from him.
Your Honor, that's...
This was made while...
That is a false document.
So you're accusing the notary here of a felony. Is that right, Mr. Young?
Yes, I am.
Just listen to me.
Yes, I am.
Just a minute. I just want to make sure, because I want to tell you something. By saying that, Mr. Young, if what you're saying is not true, and you are accusing in front of 10 million people, put down your papers! And you are accusing the notary public who put her commission seal on this document of committing a felony, I want to tell you that you are exposing yourself to substantial liability. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
And understanding that is what you're telling me, that the person who subscribed their seal to this document, which purportedly took your signature on a gift affidavit, committed perjury. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Young?
I've got the actual...
That would be a big
Yes, I've
mistake.
actually been talking to an attorney from...
Just a second. You've actually been talking to an attorney about what, sir? No.
About this forgery.
You've actually...
Yes.
Just a second. Where did you get an attorney to talk to about the forgery? On a 10-year-old truck, you've been talking to a lawyer about the forgery? Mm-hmm. Really?
Yep.
Did you have to pay the lawyer?
No.
No. When you happen to have been there talking to the lawyer about your truck and the forgery, did you happen to ask the lawyer about visitation with your children?
Yes, I sure did.
Really? I
Yes,
finally
I did.
got there. Now, the reason you went to see the lawyer, and by the way, when did you go to see the lawyer?
It was about 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago. And when was the last time you saw your children?
About 2 years ago.
2 years ago. So let's see what happened. You bought your wife an engagement ring, and she looks like she's well cared for. And you didn't get to see a lawyer until 3 weeks ago, Mr. Young.
No, I've actually spoke to many lawyers when she did leave.
You did?
Yes, I did.
Well, that's a revelation, sir. You didn't tell me that before. Tell me when you spoke to a lawyer the first time about visitation.
The first time that she told me that she didn't want the kids in my life no more.
And when was that?
It was right after April in 2005. And
That's so interesting, Mr. Young. You told me that people told you that you needed a lawyer to go to court. Why didn't you go to court?
Because nobody told me any different. They always said that, or they all told me that I needed to go hire an attorney because there had been a paternity action done.
Okay, I got the drift of who everybody is. I got it. All comes together. Now, what items do you allege were in the truck when he took the truck? Because he went and took the truck and you ultimately got it back.
He's actually returned all of my items with the exception of one child's Game Boy.
One child's Game Boy? So
Yes.
what do you want? What do you want?
Actually, those were put in the paperwork before I maintained possession of the truck and my property again. So that's...
Okay, so you're withdrawing your claim?
Yes, ma'am.
You're
For the
withdrawing your
possessions.
claim?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. So now all we have is a counterclaim.
Right.
All we have is a counterclaim. What do you want, sir?
I want her to sign her name off the title.
That's not going to happen because she paid for it. So she's not signing her name off the title. So you and your wife are just going to have to get along with your car.
Did she pay $16,000 for that truck?
I want to tell you something. You came here for judgment, and my judgment is that the affidavit of gift that she has signed and notarized is an affidavit that I'm prepared to accept, and that you made a gift to her of this truck, and that subsequent to your separation, she made the payments on it, and she brought the children to visit you with the children in your truck, and but for the fact that maybe you're being prodded by Miss Wife over here, we wouldn't be here today on your counterclaim. You get me? Do you get me?
Yes, ma'am.
Your counterclaim is dismissed. I would suggest that if you want to see your children, you pursue that with an attorney as viciously as you pursued getting back this 10-year-old truck. Anybody can be a father, sir, because it's very easy to make a baby. Put your hand down. What do you want him to do, sign that?
I would like him to sign the title.
Absolutely. Bird, he's going to sign that document. Tell him where to put his X.
And, ma'am, I also have charges. Sorry.
Once you sign that, Mr. Young, I will be finished with you.
Your signature of seller, right there.
Now, as far as the Game Boy is concerned, or any other nonsense that was in your truck?
No, ma'am. There are other things. We had to have the ignition replaced because we didn't have a key. There's damage to the truck when I got it back.
Get over it.
Okay.
Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. You have your truck.
Yes, ma'am.
You have your responsibilities. You live up to your responsibilities, and you'll get a little more sympathy from a court. That's all. Step out.
Pardon your excuse. You may step out.
She's a gold digger. She took off with his kids and his truck 2 years ago.
I think she's maybe a little jealous.
Shacked up with the guy that she was cheating on my husband with.
I don't care about her opinion, and
Filed for joint custody of the children because I love those children as much as he does.
and she doesn't love them.
Irma Molina is suing her ex-boyfriend, Robert Olivares, for kicking her car during an argument. Robert says the damage was Irma's fault.
All rise. Yes, case number 545 on the calendar in the matter of Molina versus Olivares.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Miss Molina, this young man used to be your boyfriend. I assume he lived with you for a period of time. Is that right?
He didn't live with me. He would stay over once in a while.
How
yes.
often is once in a while, Miss Molina?
Often.
Often. And it is your claim that at the time that you were breaking up, you got into an argument and he dented your car. You want to have the car fixed.
Correct.
Mr. Olivares says he fixed it. May not be to your liking, but he had it fixed. On what date did you have this argument, Miss Molina?
July 6th of 2006. He actually called me to work one of our many arguments, and I went ahead and ended up the relationship again. And he constantly called me back at work and my cell phone and wanting to go pick up a couple of his things from my house.
Where he stayed over occasionally.
Correct. And I asked him that we can be civil. I was at work. I still had 2 more hours to, to be at work. So if he could just meet me afterwards and we would be civil about it and just take his things and go our separate ways.
Is that what the conversation was like, Mr. Olivares?
Yeah, it was short. So
Good.
Okay.
Yes is an answer. Okay. You went to the house, according to what I read, when she wasn't home. Who was home?
Her kids,
How old are her children?
9, 8, and a babysitter. The babysitter's
So 2 little
13.
children and a babysitter. And what happened when you got there, Mr. Olivares?
I just went
Look
in
at
to get
me.
my stuff.
Look at me. I know what you wanted. What did you do when you got there?
I went straight to get my stuff.
How did you get into the house, sir?
There's a window. It's always open.
First, you knocked at the door.
Well, yeah.
Listen, we're not going to play with each other, sir. Because I guarantee you, no matter what you ate this morning, no matter what kind of good protein breakfast you ate this morning, I'm sharper than you are.
Okay.
So first you went to the house, and the first thing you did was not go in a window, because that's what most people wouldn't do. Most people would first knock at the door, right?
Right.
Which is what you did.
Right.
And what happened when you knocked at the door?
Nobody opened the door, so I went to the window and I went in there.
Now, did you knock at the door once or more than once?
It was more than once. I knocked very often.
So you must have figured out that somebody in the house, like the babysitter, didn't want to get involved in this, right?
Right.
So you went through a window.
Yeah.
That was the wrong thing to do, Mr. Olivares. You understand that?
Yeah.
Perfect answer. You saw him leaving?
Yes.
As you were pulling up, I read the papers. I'm really very good at that, sort of piecing it
Okay,
together,
Your Honor.
despite the fact that sometimes your papers are not particularly articulate. I did gather that you got home as he was exiting the house and taking off in his car.
Yes.
So you did the dumbest thing that you could have
Yes, I
done.
did.
Which was?
I followed him to his house.
Right.
I did.
Because he's a lunatic. He's already leaving. You want to call the police and say he broke into my house through a window? You can do that. Because I'm sure the babysitter called you, right?
Yes.
And the babysitter said, a lunatic is rapping at the door. Shh. Right?
Right.
Which is why you came home. So you followed him to his house, and you are angry.
Angry.
Because he frightened your children,
Yes.
right? I'm sure he made them cry,
Yes.
right? Oh, absolutely, Mr. Olivares. Absolutely. If you're outside banging at the door and the babysitter is saying, I'm not answering, and you go into the house, that's very frightening for 2 little children.
No.
It's the wrong thing to have done. tell me no. I'm not interested in your no. What grade did you graduate?
I went to college.
Good. You know that I did too?
Okay.
Did you graduate from college is the question.
No, I did some college.
You know that I actually graduated.
That's very good. That's good. I admire that.
Good. Now, when you did this foolish thing of following him to the house, what did you do when he stopped the car at his house?
I did park behind him, and I was upset, Your Honor, and I did get in his face.
What did you do when you got in his face?
I was telling him that I was sick and tired of him, you know, doing these things to me all the time.
Did you put your hands on him?
No, I was going to, then he grabbed me.
When you say you were going to, were you going to punch him?
Well, Your Honor, I did feel a little threatened. After we had a confrontation, I got in his face.
Well, you say you got in his face. That means you started the confrontation.
I did because I'm the one that followed him, Your Honor, and I was a stupid
No,
thing
you
to
started
do.
the confrontation when you got out of the car and ran up to him.
Yeah.
And what did she do when she ran up to you, Mr. Oliveras?
She was swinging punches wildly, and I was just trying to dodge the punches. And she hit me one time right here in the back of the head.
Okay. I believe you, Mr. Oliveras. So what did you do, sir?
During the commotion, that's when I hit her car because
Okay.
I was
How many times?
trying to get away from her.
No, don't lie. You see, you were almost good.
What?
Shh. Almost.
Mm-hmm.
How did you hit her car, sir? With what?
With my legs.
No. Look at me. With your leg.
Yeah.
So you kicked her car.
Yeah, it was kind of a kick, yeah.
So far, we are understanding each other, Mr. Oliveras. Because I read the papers. I read the baloney that you wrote in the answer.
Mm-hmm.
You kicked her car.
Yeah, kind of.
And you caused some damage. So now let me see the damage. There we go. You didn't fall into it. She didn't run over your foot. She didn't do any of that stuff, Mr. Oliveras. You see? What a nice smile you have. Well, this is some good kick, Mr. Oliveras. See this? Ooh, couple of good kicks, Mr. Oliveras.
Yeah.
See the kicks?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Anything else you want to tell me, sir? Good. Perfect.
Yeah. Oh.
You were almost home, Mr. Oliveras.
And later today,
I would only allow him to drive it if I was in the car, except for those 2 occasions.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Irma Molina claims ex-boyfriend Robert Olivares kicked her car during an argument. Robert claims the damage occurred while fending off Irma's attack.
Now, Mr. Olivares, you saw the pictures, sir. Could I see the pictures of the fixed car? Did he fix it?
No, Your Honor.
What happened, Mr. Olivares? You told me that you fixed it. You took it to a friend, and the friend fixed it.
It wasn't a friend. I took it to a body shop, and I paid $150 to get it fixed. It's not, it's not the same as it was before, but you could hardly notice.
You have pictures to show me?
No.
Well, Mr. Olivares.
I thought that was going to be the picture she was going to bring. I thought she was going to bring the pictures after I had already paid $150 to get it fixed.
Do you have the after pictures?
No, Your Honor. He had somebody hammer the dents out, and I take it back to Golden State to say that in order for the car to look like it was before, they still have to replace the same parts.
Absolutely right. Mr. Olivares, she's entitled to have her car the exact same way as it was before July 6th.
Right.
She's entitled to that.
Okay, the guy I took the car to, he did a very good job. And I was going to take it back so he could finish the job, and make it look exactly as it once was. But I haven't had the chance, and she hasn't taken it either.
Well, she's going to take it now to her own place. She doesn't have to take it to your place. Do you have an estimate?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
I'd like to see it.
And also an estimate of the days that Golden State say I'm going to need a car for the parts and the labor to be completed.
I'm not giving you a rental car for 10 days. You consider the 10 days that you have to rent a car your own penance for doing something stupid and going to follow him to his house.
Okay.
Anything else you want to tell me?
No, Your Honor. Pretty much just want my car fixed.
Anything else you want to tell me, sir? Good. Perfect.
Yeah. Oh, never mind.
You were almost home, Mr. Olivares.
No, never mind.
Perfect. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,881. Thank you, that's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
That's fine. I can't argue her decision.
Well, I think she was very fair.
I was just trying to recover all my stuff from her house.
Couldn't wait. Obviously, he went through the window and did his thing.
She's just the type of person that likes to sue.
I'm going to go ahead and stay away from people like him.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Ernsdorf, Lefebvre versus Del Campo. Step forward.
27-year-old Lauren Ernsdorf and her mother, Carla Lefebvre, are suing Lauren's ex-boyfriend, 21-year-old Alex Del Campo, for a loan for clothes, a bounced check, and damage to her car.
Okay, this used to be your boyfriend. This is your mother. You claim he owes you some money for some old loans, and he also borrowed some money from your mother.
Yes.
Okay, you say that he owes you for car damage.
Yes.
Did you damage her car?
Yeah, I did.
And you want $100 for that?
Yes.
Do you have an estimate that that's what it's going to cost to fix it?
I paid for it, and I have the receipt.
Fine. Is that a fair amount, sir, $100?
Yeah.
Great. Then you say that you paid for some clothes for him.
Yes.
Your mother did.
We both did.
And the clothes were $255.
Yes.
Do you have the clothes?
Actually, yes, I do, and the photo shoot never occurred, therefore the clothes are in returnable condition.
So why didn't you return them?
I've asked her to come pick them up, but she doesn't want them.
That's not true.
So then you owe her $255.16, so I suggest you wear the clothes or do whatever you want, sell them. Go put them on eBay. $255. That brings us to a grand total of $355. Then you said he wrote you a check for $600, but there was insufficient funds to cover the check. So you want that $600 plus the $355 that he owes you. But I don't understand what the $600 is.
It's for the time Alex and I were dating. He borrowed a lot of money from me.
Like what?
Well, he was driving without a license, and I didn't know that, and he got pulled over in my car. And end of January, he told me he was working and he had money, and he was trying to work things back out with me. So he gave me $600 to try to say, oh, I'm doing better, I'm working now. Because the whole time we were together, he never had a job longer than 2 weeks.
You picked him.
I know, and I know.
I didn't
Never
pick
again.
him. I
know.
wouldn't have picked him. I guarantee you, I would not have picked him.
I don't know what I was thinking.
I don't know what you were thinking either. Why did you give her a check for $600?
Well, she was like overdrawn in her account, so I decided to help her out, which my check bounced, and that's it.
Just a second.
No.
Listen. Shh. Do you think that I believe what you just said to me?
There's nothing else for me to say, though. I gave her the money, but I just didn't have it.
What did you give her the money for?
So she can be out of it being in debt. She was overdrawn. I don't know how much money she was overdrawn, and she said $600
Tell me
to help her.
how you knew she was overdrawn.
Because she told me and she showed me.
Show me.
I don't have anything.
Did you ever tell him that you were overdrawn in your account?
No, I told him I needed help. I needed him to start repaying the loans.
Does that sound right to you, sir?
No, it doesn't sound right at all. I owe her mother money. That's who I owe money to. I don't feel that I owe Miss Ernsdorf anything.
Tell me why.
Because we were dating at the time, and she decided to sue me way after. And throughout the times that we were together and everything, she didn't ask me for any money. She didn't ask me for anything, and I was paying her mom at the time. 2 money orders that I gave her mother of exactly $400. That's all I paid off.
For what?
For the DMV that her mother paid.
Okay, her mother paid for the motor vehicles problem that you had.
Yeah, exactly.
How much did you pay?
I gave him a little over $800.
So you still owe her mother $400?
Yeah.
And you owe her $100 to fix the car. You've already agreed with that.
Absolutely.
And you owe $255 for the clothes, which I believe that you owe her, because you have the clothes with the tags on them. Go sell them.
All right.
Good. Now, how much did the bank charge you for his bad check?
$30.
That's $785.
Okay.
Perfect. Judgment for the plaintiff. That's all.
Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I owe her what I owe her, and I decided, that's it.
He wasn't really giving me any excuses that he doesn't have it.
It's fair. That's it.
You live and learn. Unfortunately, had to come to this, but I think she has learned from it.
Not hoping really for anything. I just hope this is all over, and that's it.
Oh, I'm not going to date young little boys.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Williams versus Hall. Step forward.
Teacher's aide Melissa Williams is suing her former friend, 22-year-old Cynthia Hall, for unpaid babysitting fees.
Miss Williams, it's your claim that the defendant owes you for babysitting for her child.
Yes.
And Miss Hall says that The arrangement was you were supposed to be paid by the state, and it's your own fault that you weren't paid because you didn't complete a process for being a certified daycare provider. Is that your defense?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When did you start babysitting for her child?
I started babysitting on September 4th of 2006.
Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And how did you find her?
She was a neighbor. She lived behind me in an apartment complex, and we've been friends for about 2 or 3 years.
You have a boy or a girl?
I have a little boy.
What kind of job did you find?
Sales associate at Walmart.
How much did you agree to pay her?
Whatever we had agreed on what the state was paying would be fine.
And how much was the state paying?
I think it was $235, $250 an hour.
No.
What was the agreement, Miss Williams?
Well, I talked to Mrs. Cynthia Hall on several occasions. She brought it to my attention that she needed a daycare provider, which I did.
I asked you a question.
Yes, you did.
Stop thinking about what you want to tell me and start thinking about the answers to the questions.
Yes.
I asked you how much was it agreed that you would be paid by her?
$1.35 an hour.
Well, that's nowhere near the minimum wage, so that's a pretty reasonable amount of money, Miss Hall, $1.35 an hour.
The state pays $235 an hour.
I don't care what the state pays. She didn't get certified by the state. How long did you leave your child with her?
8 hours a day for probably, I think it was 2.5, 3 weeks maybe.
And what happened to your job?
I still have my job.
What did you do with your child?
I found other arrangements.
Why?
Because I got denied and she lied to me and told me that she had a child care provider.
You were denied state assistance for daycare with her?
Yes, because the information wasn't filled out correctly.
She didn't fill out the forms correctly?
Yes,
Is that what you're saying to me? So you think you don't have to pay her?
If she wouldn't have lied to me...
No, just answer my question. Take your hands out of your pockets. She watched your child, and was your child well and healthy during the time she watched your child? So you were able to go to work every day?
Yes. Sometimes she was late, or I'd be late, and
I can imagine you were late. Put your hands down at your sides. Very good. So, let me ask you this question, madam.
Yes.
If you go to a diner and you eat, and they give you a bill, do you pay the bill?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Why?
Because I ate.
Right. Miss Williams watched the most precious thing that I assume you have in the world. That's your child. For, according to you, 3 weeks. She is requesting the modest sum of $1.35 an hour. How much were you making in Walmart?
I was making $7.25 an hour.
Which, even after taxes, gives you probably $5 an hour. So you don't think you have to pay her anything?
That's not the whole issue is I was having problems at the time, and she knew this, that I was having problems. I was staying with my sister. I've been homeless all summer, and not only that, I had just found a job, and she knew that I didn't have money right then and there to pay her. She knew that I had to get everything together. You know what I'm saying? As far as my apartment and everything like that, and just getting around. And I was like 8.5 months pregnant. I mean, I was going through a lot, and she was helping me out, and at the same time, I was trying to help her out, too.
How were you helping her out?
Because she needed money, too.
You didn't give her any money!
But I'm saying...
Miss Hall.
Thank you.
She related to you?
No.
Did she make you pregnant? Did she make you homeless?
No. But she was supposed to be my friend.
She needed income just like you did.
Thank you. I know.
So pay her the money. Big baby. She's suing you for the modest sum of $216 for watching your child for 3 weeks. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Judgment for the plaintiff, that's all.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You may step out.
If I was in the wrong, I should have paid her, but it's just the fact of she was supposed to be my friend, and she knew that I was having problems, and I was trying to do my best.
There's no way that I would have someone watch my kids and not pay, me not pay. That's not right.
I hope we still could stay friends.
I'll be waving high and by. That's about it.
Daniel Schumann is suing his former landlords, Diana and Donald Back, for an illegal eviction, security deposit, and an assault.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Hello, Judge. Case 2085, Schumann versus Back.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Schumann.
Yes, Your Honor.
I assume this is your wife?
My girlfriend.
Girlfriend.
And my son, Blake.
And your girlfriend is here just for moral support? She wasn't living with you in the house?
She wasn't living with me, no, but she was...
Sit down.
I was a witness.
Sit.
A part of it.
Sit down.
Big part of it.
She was not living at the house?
No.
Good. Just you and your son?
Yes.
And you were tenants of Mr. and Mrs. Back for how long?
I think it was 6 years.
Starting when?
When did I sign the lease?
August 2016.
Don't help him.
Yeah. Yeah, 8/1/16.
And which unit do you rent? Because they also live in the house.
Yeah, it's 3 floors. I have the middle, and the top is just a little loft. Comes with a little loft.
And did you move in there with your son?
No, in the beginning, no. He wasn't with me.
Was it just you?
It was just me.
And when did he move in?
Probably 2 years later.
2018?
Yeah.
How old is he?
He's 15.
Now, in 2016, everything going well with your landlord?
Yeah.
Same landlord?
Yes.
What about 2017?
Everything's good.
Everything's going fine. 18? Must have been going fine because you brought your son in to live with you.
We did have a few incidences that I had to call the police then.
Okay, so in 2018, you had to call the police.
Yes.
When in 2018?
First time Mrs. Back came, and she had a problem with Blake. She said he walked too hard upstairs.
Okay. Now, before Blake came with you, with whom was he living?
With his mother.
How long was he living with his mother?
Since he, you know.
Since he was born?
Yeah, since birth.
And did you visit with him before he came to live with you?
Yeah, I had him every other weekend and Tuesdays and Thursdays.
So something must have happened in 2018 because he's 15 years old, he's in high school. You want to tell me the reason? Angela, I want you to bear in mind, this is my business.
Yeah.
You want to tell me why your son came to live with you? And if you just want to say to me he and his mother weren't getting along, I will accept that.
No, that's not why. She wanted to move to Florida, and she said I could have Blake.
Interesting. Okay, so the first time you started to have trouble was when your son came and Mrs. Back said that he was walking too loud, making too much noise upstairs.
Yeah.
And how did she communicate that with you?
Well, you know, Mr. Back was really the one who had the problem. At night, because Blake would go from his bedroom to the bathroom, and he walked too loud. That was it.
So what did you do?
Well, that was that.
I want to know why you called the police.
Well, why you called the police was because finally, this was the following year when she...
Just a second. So that was it. In 2018, they told you that your son was walking too heavy.
Yeah.
In the middle of the night, going from his room to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Okay, but that didn't require a call to the police. So I'm waiting.
Well,
this is not a well. You call the police. I want to tell you something. I've been a tenant for most of my life. I've never called the police on the landlord. So this is not an answer that starts with well. When was the first time you called the police regarding Mr. and Mrs. Back, and for what reason?
She illegally entered my apartment. She used her key to come into my house.
Okay. Don't speak. I told you not to speak.
Okay, I'm sorry.
When did she use a key to come into your apartment?
What time of the day?
No,
It was
month?
the day and,
Month?
I don't remember. I mean, I have the police report.
Oh, I'd like to see it.
Yeah.
Well, that will tell me.
The door was open, Your Honor. Sorry.
What part don't you understand? You want me to just grant his application and say goodbye to you?
I'm sorry. Sorry.
I know I had it. No, I have it, but I...
You have it, but you don't have it.
Well,
Okay, so that was sometime, according to you, in 2018/19, she entered your apartment without your permission using a key.
Yes.
And as a result of that, what happened?
Well, the officer came...
It's not a well.
Yep, the officer
So
came.
she came in and you found out that she'd been in your apartment. How did you...
Yeah, I was upstairs. I was in the apartment and she came in.
Oh, she used her key
Yeah.
and came in and you were there.
Yes.
Tell me about that incident. So she came in.
She confronted Blake, then I went upstairs.
Just a second. She confronted Blake and you went upstairs. Upstairs from where?
From downstairs. We were coming home. She came running down the block, saw that we were home, and started telling Blake that he walks too loud. You're walking too loud. You're walking too loud.
Just a second. She's in the street.
She was coming. She saw us and she's coming
You
back.
said you were outside. You were outside. First you told me, if I'm not mistaken, Whitney, he said he was in the apartment when she came in. Yes. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. First you told me you were in the apartment. That's not accurate. This happened outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it happened outside and she was yelling at your son that he was walking too loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, not yeah, yes.
Yes.
Okay. And now she's outside coming from the beach. She's telling him, you're coming inside, Keep going.
Then we went inside. I said, okay.
Just a second.
I said, okay, I'll tell him to walk a little softer, levitate a little bit. And we went inside, and I got onto the phone talking to somebody. I guess she heard me talking, and she opened her key and came up the stairs and started yelling. I wasn't yelling at Blake. I wasn't doing this to Blake. I wasn't doing that to Blake.
All right, next. 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 I'll tell you what this case is about so that everybody understands what this case is about. You're claiming that they illegally evicted you. That's one thing. You claim that they have your security deposit. And what else do you want? You say that there was a simple assault because when yelling at you, one of them spit on you.
It was a lot more than yelling.
I don't care what's yelling. Nobody hit you. That's either a yes or a no.
No.
You panicked.
Yes.
Because somebody was looking for your father and you knew it was the landlord.
No, I didn't. I thought someone was trying to break in.
Blake, let's get real, okay? Let's stop with the scripted scenario that your father is giving you. Because if don't speak.
Daniel Schumann claims his former landlords, Diana and Donald Back, owe for an illegal eviction, security deposit, and an assault. Diana and Donald are countersuing for apartment damage.
Now, illegal eviction, return of security deposit. And you lived there until when?
Until June of this year.
Now, in June, something happened, and that's where your girlfriend has some information, because it was June
3rd.
You are Gina.
Yes.
Perfect. You and Gina were in bed asleep. Does Gina have her own car?
Yes.
Do you have a car?
Yes.
So that's 2 cars.
Yes.
Where are you supposed to park?
Well, we don't have a driveway, so you can park on the street if you want.
Okay, so you weren't parked anywhere near the house?
No, across the street.
Correct?
Yes.
So his cars weren't blocking yours?
Yes, they were.
Where was your car parked?
My car was parked out front behind his disabled spot that he has for himself, and only him.
Just a second.
Behind.
There's a disabled parking spot on a public street?
Yes, but it's only his, for his number only. So no one else could park there, or they get ticketed and towed.
Even if you're disabled?
Shh.
Yeah, even if you're disabled, you're not allowed.
Did you get a spot assigned to you, sir, assigned to your car because of a disability?
Yes.
What's the nature of the disability?
I had 2 cracked vertebrae in my neck. I dislocated my left shoulder. I have herniated and ruptured discs in my lower back and nerve damage down my left leg.
So you have a place to park?
Yes.
Were you or your girlfriend Gina in any way blocking Mr. and Mrs. Back's car?
No.
Okay. Did you see where they were parked?
Yeah, she was parked on the street in front of the house.
Their car was parked in the street in front of the house?
Yes.
Okay. Go. June 3rd. Where was your car?
So my car was parked behind his disabled spot. My husband came in and showed me a ticket that was on my car, and I couldn't understand it because there's no meters or anything. And when I went to look at the ticket, it took me a little time. I checked it. It was for unregistered vehicle. First time in my life I've ever done something like that. I went online right away because I said, I know I did this in April in my mind because I do everything online. Obviously, I never sent it through, and I didn't realize it. Cops in the town have a scanner. They scanned my card, they gave me a ticket. I'm responsible for that. I understand that. But when I spoke to the cop, he said...
No, don't tell me what the cop said.
Well, I can get a ticket every 12 hours. So I panicked. I said, okay, I'm going to try...
Now I understand what's happened.
But I needed to get my car
Just a second.
road.
So now I understand what happened. She got a ticket parking on the street. And the ticket for parking on the street was for having an unregistered vehicle.
Yes.
Your car was not parked in your designated handicapped spot. Instead, you and Gina were parked in the street.
Yes.
So she came to you to ask you to take your car and put it in your handicapped spot so that she could park in the driveway.
No.
Well,
we just asked for, just needed one of them. Can you see,
Just a
look
second.
at this picture?
Just a second.
And then you'll understand what I mean.
You asked one of them to move their car?
I tried to just get in touch with both of them at this point, just get their attention.
You said, Miss Back, no to me very fast. I want you to listen to what I said.
To go in. There's 6 parking spots on this lot. So I didn't need him to go in his spot. is what I'm trying to say.
It doesn't matter.
You
need to
get
move?
through. He could have stayed there the whole night if he wanted to.
Okay. And what time was this?
My husband walked in about 20 to 9. I started to look it up, thinking that something was wrong. By the time I figured that out, then I knocked on the door.
Just a second. Give me a time that you went to his door to knock at the door.
I started knocking on the door about 9 o'clock, a little bit after, maybe 5 of 9 o'clock. And then I proceeded to text, and I proceeded to call.
Okay. Now, prior to that, Mr. Schumann, prior to that date, at about 9 o'clock, when was the time immediately prior that you called the police about the behavior or a complaint about Mr. and Mrs. Back?
After.
Shh. Okay. What don't you understand?
When I called the police, it was probably about 9:45.
No, prior to that night, when she wanted you to move your car. When was the time immediately preceding that you called the police about any conduct of Mr. and Mrs. Back?
Yeah, I don't remember the date.
Give me the month and year.
Oh, wow. It was...
So far, we have
maybe
2018.
Maybe 2020.
So that was the second time that you've called the police?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You keep saying that. Okay. 2020. What was that about?
What that was about was she was downstairs with her friends. They were smoking so much marijuana that we couldn't breathe on the second and third floor. And Mrs. Zanino called her and said, you guys got to knock it off. You got to stop. We can't breathe up here. Had to open the windows, had to turn on fans, and I had Blake there.
May I see the police report?
That one I don't have. They wouldn't give it to me. They said...
Just a second. That they said you don't have that police report, but that you called because of smoking marijuana.
Yes.
Okay. And that was the time immediately preceding the call at 9:45 in June of 2022.
Yes.
There were no calls in between.
No.
Is that correct?
One after, but not before.
One after?
2 days later.
2 days after
the altercation. Yeah.
After the altercation. Okay. So now, according to you, you and Gina are in bed, sound asleep at 9 o'clock. Yeah. Where is your son?
He's downstairs on the second floor. That's where his bedroom is.
Okay. But downstairs, when you want to get in, do you get in from the second floor or the third?
Come in the house, you got to come in from the first floor. And then...
Walk up a flight of stairs, so you have to pass where your son is. Your son is on the second floor.
Oh, yeah. If I'm going up to the loft, the bedroom door is right there. Yeah.
Okay. What's your son's first name?
Blake.
Blake, stand up. Move over next to your father. You're 15 years old?
Yes.
15-year-olds don't go to sleep at 9 o'clock at night. June 3rd, 2022, where were you?
I was in the bathroom.
You were in the bathroom?
Yes.
All night?
No, not all night.
Well, when were you in the bathroom?
Around 9:30.
When did you hear banging on the door?
It was around that time.
It was around 9:30?
Yes.
What did you do?
Well, I didn't know what was going on.
No, you heard banging at the door?
Yes.
Did somebody say something?
Well...
Not well. Look at me. All you have to do is remember this. Don't speak, Mr. Schumann. Don't speak to him.
No, he's nervous.
Don't speak to him. He won't have to be nervous if he tells the truth. So you see, you just have to cool it. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Perfect. There are people who call the police on you all the time. You're going to get down on the ground, kiss the ground, and say, thank God for they're not in my house anymore. Do you understand?
Kind of.
He's happy. What do you mean, kind of?
Well,
what do you mean,
wasn't ready for the change at the time.
Oh, you sound ridiculous.
Daniel Schumann has accused his former landlords, Diana and Donald Back, of wrongfully evicting him and keeping his security deposit.
You came here. You brought him. Just remember that. You came.
I know.
You brought him. What did you hear when you heard banging at the door?
I heard Don scream, Dan.
You heard Mr. Back?
Yes. Mr.
Scream what?
Dan and...
Dan?
Yes.
And that's your father?
Yes.
How many times did you hear him scream Dan?
Only once.
Once. And are you out of the bathroom?
Well, I did.
That's not an well.
Sorry.
Are you out of the bathroom or still in the bathroom?
I'm still in the bathroom.
Okay, so you're still in the bathroom.
Yes.
Was the door open or closed?
Closed.
Closed. So behind a closed door in the bathroom, you heard Dan from the floor below.
Yes.
Dan. Now, what did you hear after that? Is not an answer. What did you hear after that? Dan, now you knew somebody was looking for your father.
Oh, well, I panicked, sort of.
You panicked?
Yes.
Because somebody was looking for your father and you knew it was the landlord?
Yeah.
You knew it was the landlord?
No, I didn't.
You just told me that...
I thought someone was trying to break in.
You mean, just a second. Blake, let's get real. Okay, let's stop with the scripted scenario that your father is giving you. Because don't speak. Because at 9 o'clock at night, if somebody is banging at the door and calling your father's name, then it doesn't sound like a break-in to me. If somebody's banging at my door and somebody is yelling out, Nana, Nana, I know they're not trying to break into my house.
It wasn't.
Do you understand? Do you understand?
It was the whole house was shaking.
Okay.
The entire house.
Mr. Schuman, I'm not speaking to you. Do you understand? You brought this ridiculous lawsuit. You brought this ridiculous lawsuit.
The truth has to be told. I can't tell.
Just a second.
Because they're lying.
Mr. Schuman,
No, you're lying.
You're lying.
Mr. Schuman, you brought this ridiculous lawsuit, except for one thing. I'm finished with you. Sit down.
Your Honor, I wasn't even the one who called the cops at first.
Just a second.
The neighbor across the street called first because...
Mr. Schuman, you have a police report?
Yeah.
Then I'd like to see where the neighbor across the street called the police.
Yeah, that says it in
Just a second. I'd like to see it.
He also called.
Shh.
Okay.
Yeah, when I called, they said someone else has already called.
Give this back. Give this back. They don't understand not to talk. All right. I'm about finished with you. You moved out?
Yes, I was illegally evicted.
Great. It's a great thing that you moved out. It's a great thing that you moved out because you don't want to be with such bad landlords who yell and scream in the middle of the night, who smoke marijuana around your 15-year-old son who would never think of doing that, right? Right?
Yes.
Yes, of course. And so it's a good thing that you found someplace else to go.
Well, it is a good thing.
It's a very, very good thing.
The stress that's off me now.
Perfect. Then it's what we call a mitzvah that you moved out. Okay? The only thing that I'm entertaining on either side is, on your side, the return of your security deposit. Do you understand?
Yes.
How much was your security deposit?
$1,750.
When you left, did you get any of your security deposit back?
No.
What date did you leave?
It was the last day of June.
So it was June 30th. And you paid June's rent?
Yes.
So now you're going to have to explain to me, Mr. and Mrs. Back, and I think I'm going to go to Mrs. Back, why you kept their security deposit.
Well, Your Honor, he signed a lease when he first moved in.
Just tell me why you kept their security
Because
deposit.
he was asked to give me 60 days notice, written 60 days notice.
Forget it. There are people who call the police on you all the time. You're going to get down on the ground, kiss the ground, and say, thank God for they're not in my house anymore. Do you understand? Do you understand?
Kind of.
He's happy. What do you mean, kind of?
Well,
what do you
I
mean,
wasn't ready for the change at the time. That's why I always ask for 60 days notice.
Oh, you sound ridiculous.
I'm sorry.
You sound ridiculous. Do you understand why she sounds ridiculous? You had very, very bad experience with your tenants. Police were called. I don't know. I've lived in places all my life. Police were never called on me as a tenant. I never called police on a landlord. Out there in the near audience, I want to know how many of you ever called the police about your landlord. Raise your hand. I just want some idea. Raise your hand. Don't tell me the truth. Okay, good. Now, how many ever called the police on a tenant? Look at all this. How many times?
Twice.
Great. Landlord or tenant?
On a tenant.
You called about a tenant?
Yes.
About a disruptive tenant?
Yes.
So, with the exception of Kevin, who is a businessman, entrepreneur when he's not here, taking care of my business here, and he called the police twice because of the tenant. Nobody else has ever called the police, so you should say, thank you, Lord, for getting rid of these tenants who called the police and not give me baloney about a 60-day notice. Now, if that's why you kept their security deposit, which is what you said to me, then he gets a security deposit back, $1,750. And that's the only reason you gave me.
It's $1,725. But
Just a second.
I didn't finish.
1725. You did finish. I said, what was the reason? I asked you twice.
Well,
what was the reason? And what was the reason?
I was letting him go from the 17th when he texted my husband to the 17th. The only thing I wanted in return is access. He said, no, see it in court. So I turned around and held him to his lease.
Very good. Not here. Right. Not here. Okay. $1,750. He gets a security deposit back. $1,750 or $1,725?
It's $1,750.
Take a look. Let's get the number right.
The lease.
This is fascinating.
He signed his lease that says $1,725.
Okay. You have information to the contrary, Mr. Schumann.
No, she's right. $1,725.
$1,725. Judgment for the plaintiff. We're done. Counterclaim is dismissed. We're finished. That's it.
Court is adjourned.
Judge Judy was right about I should be counting my blessings that they're gone.
It was over a silly parking spot.
I'm glad he's out, but I don't think he deserves his security.
I mean, I couldn't teach him how to levitate. I tried, as much as I tried, we couldn't get it.
I'll never understand why acrimonious relationships between landlords and tenants would wish to continue on for another 30 days, another 60 days, cut your losses and get out of there. And that's what happened. And the defendant's answer that, well, he was supposed to give me 60 days notice. Why would you want him there for another 60 days?
It's called the police on you, as far as we know, at least 3 times.
Yes.
Whatever. It was just a bad scene. And for some reason, he didn't park at his assigned spot because of his handicap. He parked, whatever.
I think everyone should just cut their losses
and move on and be happy. Life is so short.
Yes, agreed.
Be happy.
Edmund Hay is suing videographer Ramsey Hill for breach of contract.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Hello, Judge. Case 2057, Hay versus Hill.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Hay, you're a musician.
I am a songwriter and I sing song. I don't play the instrument, Your Honor.
That's music.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Hill, you make music videos.
Yes, I have a video production company.
For how long, sir?
Since 2006.
Do you have employees?
No.
Just you?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have a place of business?
Yes, I work at my home.
So your place of business
is the residence.
Do you have a studio in the residence?
No, we do not.
Where do you record this music?
Most of the time we do it on location, but I haven't done a music video in almost 10 years.
When you say you have a video business, you haven't done music videos.
Right, yes.
You have done what kind of videos?
Well, we've done a small film. We have a 3D full-length original animation that we do. We also have a network that we show podcasts on. We have a health and fitness show, and we was working on a reality TV show and an entertainment news show.
I still don't understand how you make a living. Working on, thinking about being in this business myself, that doesn't produce any income. How do you earn a regular income?
Oh, I have a regular 9-to-5 job.
Oh, okay, now that's where we go.
Yeah.
So your 9-to-5 job is what?
Right now I'm an insurance agent.
Do you advertise making videos?
Absolutely not. The only reason I did this was as a favor to a friend.
Well, you didn't do it for a favor because you were charging him.
No, the only reason I accepted to do the video was because a friend asked me to meet with him.
I understand that.
Yeah.
But you weren't doing him a favor because you were charging him.
No, I was doing the friend a favor. I wasn't doing him a favor.
No.
Right.
Mr. Hill, if somebody says, listen, I have a friend who wants to make a video. I know you've got a setup in your house where you could do that, or you do it on location. Would you like to be introduced to him? And you say, sure. That doesn't mean you're doing him a favor. So you haven't made a music video in 10 years. You're an insurance agent. And you met with Mr. Hay on what date?
I'm not really sure.
On what date, Mr. Hay?
We met sometime in early April, late March.
Did you have a written contract?
Yes, ma'am.
And that was to make certain videos?
Yes.
I'd like to see the written contract, please. This lawsuit seeks a refund of the money that you gave to him because the entire contract was not fulfilled. That's what the case is about.
That is correct.
Okay, so there is a full and complete agreement. Was this the only agreement there was in writing?
That's the one for that one.
That's the one for what?
For that particular item. There's another one here.
Well, that's what I wanted to know. There's one to produce 3 videos.
That is correct.
Okay. Is there another written contract?
He said this is not a contract.
Well, but I'm asking you, is there another written contract that you're relying on? Because he was supposed to make 3 videos, and the cost of the 3 videos was $1,500?
$3,000.
$3,000. And then there was an additional agreement
for the live performance of which he demanded $1,500 from me.
Okay.
Okay,
And then
that's
just a second.
That's not correct.
Just a second. So it is your claim that in addition to the $3,000, $1,500 of which you paid to him, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
There was a subsequent contract afterwards for an additional item. I'd like to see that.
For the live performance on
I
May
understand.
1st.
Okay. You wanted to do something live on one of his radio stations. Or...
Mr. Hill.
No, I'm going to read this.
Okay.
Okay. Let's deal with the easier one first. Did you receive the $1,500 for this contract?
Yes.
And that was for a live performance on one of your outlets.
Right.
And that was to take place on May 1st.
May 1st.
And did it in fact take place?
No.
Did it in fact take place?
Not at all.
Well, so then he gets his $1,500 back. That's one.
Thank you, Your Honor.
But I'm not asking you anything. There's nothing else that you have to tell me about that, right? You paid him $1,500.
Yes, ma'am.
You didn't do a live performance. You get your $1,500 back.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, with regard to the 3 videos, you've given him a total now of $3,000?
$1,500, Your Honor.
How much did you pay him on this?
For the videos?
Yes.
I gave him $500 up front to start off on that project. And then that's on the 21st. And then I gave him $1,000 by the 27th, I think, for the 3 videos.
So you gave him
$1,500.
So you gave him the 3 videos were supposed to be $3,000 and you gave him $1,500.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How many videos were produced for you?
1.
Is it accurate that 1 video was produced for Mr. Hay?
Yes.
And it was done on a particular date?
Right.
And you gave him that video?
Yes.
On what date did you give him that video?
It was a week before the 31st.
Did you do any work on the other 2 videos?
No.
Okay. Each video was supposed to cost $1,000.
Yes.
Dollars. And you received 1 video.
Yes, ma'am.
And you paid him $1,500 so far as down payment on 3. So you have $1,500 that you believe is coming back to you from that amount of money, in addition to the $1,500 that I've already given you.
No, the $1,500 covered the first video. It wasn't a breakdown like he's trying to make it in the 3 videos. No, the $1,500 was the cost, was the full cost for the first video.
Does it say that in here? He's not giving you more money back.
No.
He's not giving you more money that you gave him. Do you understand? He's giving...
Your Honor, may I say this, please?
You can say whatever you want to say.
And later today.
Well, you have a defense for not paying rent for those 3 months, which you clearly occupied her premises. Who wants to tell me why you didn't pay rent?
Edmund Hay claims videographer Ramsey Hill breached their music video contract.
Kevin, would you please ask Mr. Hill to show me where in this contract, and I may have missed it, that $3,000 was to be paid for 3 videos.
Right.
But the first one cost half, cost $1,500. All I want you to do is to show me in that contract where it says that. If it says that, then Mr. Hay gets back the $1,500 from live music performance. That
The
was
music video production won $1,500.
Just a second. Can I see it, please? Yes, it does. Mr. Hay, that's exactly what it says. It says music video, the first production is $1,500.
Okay.
And you got 1 produced video, correct?
Correct, ma'am.
Okay, well,
So,
and you're absolutely right. What?
so the reason why I'm suing him for the extra $1,000, Your Honor, is for the live performance that he didn't perform. I had to hire 2 other persons to
That's not his problem. He didn't perform. He didn't He didn't do the live performance.
No, first of all,
and you're getting your money
sabotaged.
back.
I'm
He's not
sorry.
giving you more money back.
No.
He's not giving you more money than you gave him. Do you understand? He's
Your Honor,
giving.
Your Honor, may I say this, please?
You could say whatever you want to say. He's not paying for you to do another live performance with other people. He didn't perform pursuant to the contract, and you're
getting your money back because he didn't perform that contract. With regard to this contract, he performed pursuant to this contract, you get nothing. It's easy.
For the music, correct? For the videos, correct?
For the videos, he produced one, and one was $1,500. That's what this contract says.
The contract is about making 3 videos, Your Honor.
That's all right. If you want to look at it, do you want to see it? Have we shown it to you?
No, I'm asking pertaining to what he says. He says pertaining to just one for the 1,500.
It says it's clear. Music video, #1 production, $1,500.
Number 1, which means there's 2 more need to be done.
Correct, but the first one was, just a second, the first one was $1,500. He could have very easily said, Mr. Hay, production #1, $1,000. Production #2.
He explained that like you just said to me, and he wrote that in words for that purpose.
This is what the court is bound by, sir. Not what he may have explained to you, because you cannot modify in the law a written contract by oral communications between the parties. It's in writing. If you wanted him to write production 1, $1,000, then you would have said, write production 1, that each video was $1,000.
Your Honor,
this is not an argument, sir.
I'm not
this
arguing,
is not an
Your
argument. Good, because that's what it says.
I'm not arguing.
Contract speaks for itself. On the initial contract, he has to give you a refund of $1,500. On this contract, he produced #1 video for which you paid him $1,500. That's what the contract calls for. We're done here. Thank you very much.
Thank
you.
This court is adjourned.
Well, it's a fair decision.
There is no breaching of my end on the contract.
It would never have been any money if he'd have kept things on course.
How did I breach the contract when I'm here getting the money for the contract?
I'm not working with anybody like that anymore.
You cannot have an oral modification of a written contract. So I think it's a good lesson for people signing written contracts that if you don't agree or you have a different understanding than something that's listed in the contract, don't let the other person just explain it away in the moment, because as we've seen, that doesn't hold up in court and your rights are going to be really limited to what's in that written agreement. So it's important.
People should know that.
Yeah.
Hôm nay thì mình sẽ cùng với các bạn tô màu cho bức tranh này. Bức tranh về những bạn Hello Kitty. Các bạn hãy cùng tô màu nhé. Để xem là mình sẽ tô như thế nào. Bây giờ mình sẽ tô màu nha. Rồi thì mình sẽ đổ đến chiếc váy nha. thì chúng ta sẽ cùng nhau tô màu trong bức tranh về một cái chậu hoa như thế này nha. Các bạn hãy cùng mình đón xem và xem là mình sẽ tô màu như thế nào nhé. Thì chúng ta sẽ cùng nhau tô màu nha các bạn. Bây giờ mình sẽ tô đến phần lá nha. ơi, hôm nay thì chúng ta sẽ tiếp tục tô màu và đây sẽ là bức tranh của hôm nay mà mình sẽ tô. Các bạn hãy cùng mình đón xem bức tranh nha. Bây giờ thì chúng ta sẽ cùng nhau tô màu nha. Hello mọi người, chào mừng mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình nhé. Hôm nay thì mình sẽ tô màu cho bức tranh về một cô bé siêu nhân nha. Đầu tiên thì các bạn hãy cùng với mình sẽ tô màu trước mặt nạ nha. Mái tóc thì mình sẽ tô cho nó một đây anh nha. Hy vọng thật rồi. Những ngôi sao trên cao. Bây giờ thì cùng mình tô đến bộ đồ nha. Trước tiên là mình sẽ tô cái áo và cái váy. Chống cơn mơ, chống cơn mơ. Tôi phát điên, giờ là sao rồi. Mình sẽ sử dụng màu tím để tô màu cho đôi giày. Mình sẽ tô cả màu cho đôi bao tay nha. Cuối cùng là tô màu cho chiếc áo choàng nha mọi người. Bức tranh về cô bé siêu nhân đã được mình hoàn thiện. đây chính là tác phẩm của mình nha. Mình cảm ơn mọi người đã cùng mình đón xem. Xin chào. Xin chào mọi người, chào mừng mọi người đã đến với kênh của mình. Hôm nay thì mình có tô màu cho bức tranh về một cô bé cao bồi. Các bạn hãy cùng với mình sẽ tô màu cho bức tranh này nhé. Đầu tiên là chúng ta sẽ cùng nhau tô mái tóc nha. Tiếp theo thì tô đến chiếc mũ cao bồi. Bây giờ thì cùng mình tô cho chiếc áo nha. Có thấy nhân hay không kể từ đầu. Tôi kéo đến chẳng thấy nó đi còn đồng lớn. Giờ thì tô đến chiếc quần ha. Quần mình sẽ tô vào gì đây? Chúng mình sẽ tô màu với sợi dây ha. Khi cắt nó dần phai. Đôi giày thì mình sẽ tô màu tím ha. Như vậy là bức tranh cũng đã đi đến bước hoàn thiện rồi. Đây chính là thành quả mà mình đã tô được nha. Mình cảm ơn mọi người đã cùng mình đón xem và theo dõi. Video của mình đến đây là kết thúc rồi nhé. Hello mọi người, chào mừng mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình và đến với series tô bức tranh. Hôm nay thì mình sẽ cùng với các bạn tô màu cho một bức tranh với cô bé đang cầm một quả dâu tây rất là dễ thương nha. Chúng mình sẽ cùng nhau tô màu cho bức tranh ngay bây giờ nhé. Đầu tiên thì mình sẽ tô màu cho trái dâu trước hả. Cái gì cắt đầu nó xấu vậy? Rồi chúng ta sẽ tô màu cho chiếc mũ ha. Nếu anh không sẽ biến mất duy nhất và ta thi nhau đến bên nhau. Say đắm say nhau anh không mái tóc thì chúng ta sẽ tô màu đen nha. Từ vào con gói con tim vô tâm bạn thật ra tôi nói cho em. Giờ thì cùng mình tô màu vào chiếc váy nhé. Đắm say vậy là bức tranh của ngày hôm nay đã đi với hoàn thiện. Đây chỉ là bức tranh mà mình đã tô xong nha. Thật là nhanh phải không nào? Cảm ơn mọi người đã cùng mình đón xem video này nhé. Xin chào mọi người, chào mừng mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Hôm nay thì mọi người sẽ cùng mình tô màu cho bức tranh về cô bé đáng yêu này nhé. Đầu tiên là chúng ta sẽ cùng nhau tô màu ở chiếc váy này nha. Chặt quá. Bàn tay như bờ vờ chờ mong những thứ. Trước nơi mình sẽ tô màu đỏ cho nổi bật. Còn chiếc váy thì mình sẽ chọn màu cam để tô. Tiếp theo thì các bạn hãy cùng với mình sẽ tô màu cho mái tóc nha. Vì anh đâu có biết cuối cùng là mình sẽ tô màu cho đôi giày ha. Các bạn ơi, mình đã tô màu xong cho bức tranh rồi. Và đây là bức tranh của mình nha. Mình cảm ơn các bạn đã cùng mình theo dõi và đón xem video của mình. Video này đến là kết thúc. Xin chào các bạn, chào mừng các bạn đã đến với kênh của mình. Hôm nay thì các bạn hãy cùng với mình tô màu cho bức tranh về một cô bé có mái tóc khá là bông xù nha. Đầu tiên là mình sẽ tô cho chiếc nơ tóc này nhé. Chia xa. Tiếp theo thì mái tóc thì mình sẽ tô màu vàng nha. Bây giờ của mình tô màu cho chiếc váy nhé. Chiếc váy thì mình sẽ tô màu xanh dương. Cuối cùng là chúng ta sẽ tô màu cho đôi giày để hoàn thiện cho bức tranh nhé. Đi nay thì mình đã tô màu xong cho bức tranh và đây chính là bức tranh của mình nha. Mình cảm ơn các bạn đã cùng mình đón xem và theo dõi. Video của mình đến đây là kết thúc rồi. Tạm biệt mọi người. Xin chào mọi người, chào mừng mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Hôm nay thì mọi người cùng với mình sẽ tô màu cho bức tranh về một cô bé rất là xinh xắn nha. Bây giờ thì các bạn hãy cùng mình tô màu cho bức tranh này ngay bây giờ nhé. Đầu tiên thì mình sẽ tô màu cho chiếc nơ ở trên tóc nha. Mình sẽ chọn tô màu tím ấy. Tím nhàn nhạt. Tiếp theo thì mái tóc mình sẽ tô màu đen. Bây giờ thì chúng ta sẽ cùng nhau tô màu cho chiếc váy ha. Chiếc váy thì mình sẽ tô màu cam nha mọi người. Hay dữ chưa? Cuối cùng là các bạn hãy cùng mình tô màu cho đôi giày nhé. Còn đó không phải mơ dấu yêu thương trong vần thơ. Kín trong tim này nó cho em, để nó giữ kín trong tim. Đấy, nó cứ trong... Và mình đã hoàn thiện bức tranh rồi đây. Đây chỉ là bức tranh của mình nha. Mình cảm ơn mọi người đã cùng mình theo dõi video này. Xin chào và hẹn gặp lại các bạn ở những video tiếp theo của mình. Cảm ơn. Hello các bạn, chào mừng các bạn đã đến với kênh của mình. Hôm nay thì các bạn hãy cùng mình tô màu cho bức tranh về nàng công chúa này nha. Đầu tiên thì mình sẽ tô cho chiếc vương miện này nhá. Mái tóc thì mình lựa chọn tô màu đen. Cái gì fake đồ mái. Mình sẽ dùng màu hồng để tô màu chiếc bao tay. Bài gì kìa? Rockstar Balista. Cũng ít nhỉ? Ủa có 2 phút. Vấn chứ không phải Tuấn đâu. Vấn tức là vấn đấy chứ. Trang vấn à? Đây là cái đoạn này sao này? Rasta, I'm a Rasta. Bây giờ thì mình sẽ tô đến những cái họa tiết ở trên chiếc váy này nha. Màu chủ đạo ở chiếc váy thì mình chọn màu xanh. Đoạn giữa này này. Nó ngắn lắm, nó chưa đến 1 phút đâu, chỉ khoảng 30 giây. Bức tranh của mình hôm nay đã hoàn thiện xong rồi. Đây chỉ là bức tranh về nàng yêu chúa nha. Mình cảm ơn mọi người đã cùng mình đón xem và theo dõi. Video của mình đến đây là kết thúc. Xin chào và hẹn gặp lại. Hello mọi người, chào mừng mọi người đã đến với kênh của mình. Hôm nay thì mình sẽ cùng các bạn tô màu cho bức tranh về một cô bé rất là dễ thương, có say hi như thế này. Các bạn hãy cùng mình tô màu cho bức tranh ngay bây giờ nhé. Trước tiên thì hãy cùng mình tô màu cho mái tóc và chiếc nơ xinh này nha. Tiếp theo thì chúng ta sẽ tô đến chiếc váy ha. Chiếc váy thì mình sẽ chọn màu hồng để tô nhé. Đôi giày thì mình sẽ tô màu xanh dương ha. Tí nhiều. Bị ngã. Ôi đứng tự nhiên nó nghiêng rồi nó đổ. Các bạn ơi, hôm nay mình đã tô màu xong cho bức tranh rồi. Đây chính là thành quả mà mình đã tô được nha. Cảm ơn mọi người đã cùng mình theo dõi và đón xem video này. Xin chào và hẹn gặp lại các bạn nhé. người, chào mừng mọi người đã đến với kênh của mình. Hôm nay thì mọi người cùng với mình sẽ tô màu cho bức tranh về hai bông hoa nha. Đầu tiên thì các bạn hãy cùng mình tô màu cho cái phần cành hoa nhé. Giờ thì mình sẽ tô màu cho mấy cái lá này. Tiếp theo thì mình sẽ tô phần nhụy hoa ha. Bông hoa thì mình sẽ tô màu cho màu tím nhé. Và mình đã hoàn thiện xong cho bức tranh rồi nhé. Hôm nay thì mình đã cùng với mọi người tô màu xong cho bức tranh về bông hoa. Đây chính là thành quả mà mình đã tô được nha. Cảm ơn các bạn đã cùng mình đón xem video này. Xin chào. Hello các bạn, chào mừng các bạn đã quay trở lại với series tô màu tranh trên kênh của mình nhé. Hôm nay thì các bạn hãy cùng với mình tô màu cho bức tranh về những bông hoa rất là xinh nha. Bây giờ thì chúng ta sẽ cùng nhau tô màu cho bức tranh ngay bây giờ nhé. Đầu tiên là mình sẽ tô phần nhụy hoa nha. Tiếp theo là mình sẽ tô lên cái phần là nhánh hoa này nhé. Giờ mình sẽ tô phần lá ha. Bây giờ thì mình sẽ tô màu cho những bông hoa này nhé. Mình sẽ sử dụng màu hồng để tô. Mình sẽ tô lần lượt các bông hoa nha. Vâng, như vậy là mình đã tô màu xong cho bức tranh về bông hoa rồi. Đây chính là thành quả của mình nha. Cảm ơn các bạn đã đón xem video này của mình. Xin chào và hẹn gặp lại các bạn. Xin chào mọi người, chào mừng mọi người đã đến với kênh của mình và đến với series tô màu tranh. Hôm nay chúng mình sẽ tô màu cho nhân vật, đó là nhân vật Bloom ở trong phim Win và những người bạn nhé. Đây, các bạn hãy cùng mình tô màu cho mình. Đầu tiên thì chúng mình sẽ cùng nhau tô màu mái tóc nha. Mái tóc thì sẽ cầm màu cam. Mình sẽ sử dụng màu nước để tô nhé. Và cái phần ở trên đầu này thì sẽ có màu vàng. Mình đã tô xong phần mái tóc nha. Rồi mình sẽ tô đến đôi cánh. Bộ đồ thì cũng có màu xanh dương luôn nha. Sẽ tô luôn chiếc váy. Giờ thì mình sẽ tô màu cho phần găng tay hai bên. Cuối cùng là tô màu cho đôi giày nhé. Và bức tranh của mình đã được tô màu xong rồi nha. Cảm ơn các bạn đã cùng mình theo dõi video này. Video của mình đến đây là kết thúc rồi. Xin chào và hẹn gặp lại.